And, of course, we're coming back just to the beeps of Sequencer. Once more, this is the Winners Bracket Finals. Not the finals of the tournament. Think of it the semifinals of the overall tournament, as today is double elimination styles to make up for the low signups and hopefully give us a few more games to cast, was the goal. It is a best of 3, and in the top right, we do have the Blue Zerg representative, currently living in the BaseTradeTV house in Korea. It's going to be none other than NoRegreT.
In the bottom left is the Red Terror, and he is jjakji.
Also, thank you to whoever just sent us a host. Your name is in Asian characters that I cannot read, but appreciate it, and thank you. Welcome to all the new viewers. jjakji will certainly not be playing sloppy like Alive. And don't get me wrong, I'm not judging Alive for dying to all-ins. I think even the best player can fall to weird all-ins from time to time. And like I said, that series was going to be one-sided one way or the other. But jjakji, I'm going to imagine, is playing decently and will give a much better fight, I guess, against NoRegreT.
I think so. Alive should have been caught off guard by NoRegreT's playstyle, but he was maybe caught off guard just by, yeah, like you said, maybe he was still tired from drinking, or just got overconfidence with his micro. I don't know. But those are some really, like, those are mistakes that made me, on one hand, kind of happy to look at it, because, you know, play on ladder and you make the same mistake. Yeah, exactly. And you're like, Alive would never lose to this. And you're like, oh, yeah, he would actually. Makes you feel a little bit better. But on the other hand, you're just like, oh, I don't know how Alive's going to feel about that. I think jjakji might have been watching. He had logged out of StarCraft 2. He's streaming right now, by the way. You can go watch as long as you don't bring back spoilers. So he might have seen and might have been even laughing, I think, a little bit at him. If I understood any Korean at all. Which is kind of funny. I really wish I did know more Korean, not so I could be impressive and like talk to the Koreans and all that, but just so I could see when they're being kind of shits to each other.
Yeah, they like to be kind of BM and joke around with one another. Real quick though, guys, people are asking, why is the code BTSL5 if it's Season 4? And it's because this is the 5th BTSL that Matcherino has sponsored, helping bump the prize pools from $100 a week to $200 with your help. And we're up to $204 today, so thank you guys so much. There are still some codes to be redeemed, so make sure to type !Matcherino in chat. Use the code BTSL5 if you haven't. Let's use them all up, and let's make sure we get the players the most money that we can today. Of course, part of this is Rifkin also is hoping people will be willing to dig into their pockets and reward the players playing today, because we do want to give them a bit more cash as a thank you for showing up. Because a lot of folks didn't come out to play today. We don't really know why.
Yeah. I think it'll be better next week. If it's not better next week, then maybe there's a super big issue with Sunday. Or,
yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I'm not worried about this being like the BaseTradeTV silent protest. I think it might just actually be the new days aren't going to work out. But we'll give it one more try on a Sunday before we choose to axe it. Because right now there's literally Korean StarCraft every single day. And to be honest,
you can't avoid it.
To be honest with you, it's not that I'm scared. Like, I don't really care about, oh, we'll have less viewers in GSL per se. But it's more that we don't want you, the fans, to have to pick and choose and miss out on one event or the other. So it is just trying to make everybody happy the best we can. Thank you, Nikki Bower, for the Twitch Prime sub, by the way. Welcome to the Base Trade Brigade. Glad to have you on board.
Well, Reaper gets in a nice scout here, but NoRegreT's doing the exact same thing he did versus Alive, which is, if you scout the main and the natural, it could be deceiving. If you scout the third and you don't see any drones, that could be a tip-off. But he not only scouted the main mineral line, he also scouted that there's an evolution chamber. That might have been enough to tip him off. I mean, there are early evolution chamber builds for +1 Carapace, but even that, I think that's a bit too early for that.
Right, actually, I think if anything, you scout an early Evo chamber like this, you're thinking drop overlords, right, more than anything else, which NoRegreT might just be setting up to do with the lings that he's segmented over here.
Well, if, you know, jjakji doesn't just let him in, then that's always an option. Now, jjakji isn't being aggressive with his Hellions. That was another thing that Alive wasn't exactly wrong, because he had the opportunity to make up for the Hellion dive, but he just, you know, lowered the supply depot, so that was what really killed him.
Oh, Banshee's gonna catch this.
Keeping 6 Hellions alive, even if he got surrounded, well, surrounds on Hellions really do make them suck. But the point is, like, they can do a lot more, and they should really be controlled very well by jjakji.
Yeah. Runs on in for that choke. That's going to be tough to fight with.
Oh, there's 8 Hellions. Oh, shit.
NoRegreT's dead.
No, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of dead.
Oh my god. How many lings just died? 34.
I don't know why jjakji did this, by the way. So you consider it as a very short wall off because of the rocks, but he like put two supply depots that didn't help wall. Doesn't matter. He's on his counterattack, and NoRegreT is just there's not much you can do.
He's got some build cancels in and denying a lot of actual kills on the Banshee. She's only up to 2 so far, and that should have been a lot of free reign. But the Hellions will clean up, but the Banshee could not. And that Queen is low from earlier. Excuse me, the Queen goes down.
The Queenie. Oh god. The Hellions, as I said, like even if they got surrounded, would still be able to do okay. And there was an armory built, so now they're Hellbats attacking the hatchery. NoRegreT, I guess, is going to try and do some like really fast Spire follow-up, which wouldn't have been a bad idea. It deals with Banshees. It would hopefully eventually clean up the Hellions and maybe let him control the game a little bit.
Is he though? I mean, he's going to have like 1 gas to do this off of, even if he survived,
Well,
which I don't.
He was going to plan. Now he can't do anything.
Get to the car wash. Takes care of some of the Hellbats, but the hatchery dying is already bad. The Banshees aren't being stopped, and GG's get called. jjakji will take the game. Map numero uno. Nikki Bauer says, I've been watching for a few years. Oh, and then finally decided to sub, I guess. That's awesome. And then drops an Ace 1, Ace 2 in chat. Hell freaking yeah. Oh no, I gotta be careful. You guys can almost see my face. I gotta move that camera.
Ah!
Tilt it down a bit. There we go.
Did no one else hear that and see that?
No? What happened?
I think one of my light bulbs blew.
Oh! Well, I heard something. I thought that was more like a cat scratching something, though. Not a light bulb blowing up.
It sounded like something dropped on my bed, and I was super scared. It was like a huge fucking spider or some shit. But no, I think it was just the sound of the thing cracking, and then the lights went out.
Well, I hope everything's okay over there.
I guess so.
Well, we'll get the next map going here in just a moment. Of course, as per usual, we're going to take the downtime to sell out a little bit. And if you guys haven't seen, we do have our new t-shirts live, and they look fan-friggin-tastic. Get on it. If you've been a fan of the channel for long enough, hopefully a couple of bucks for this really sick shirt isn't too much for you, because we'll be giving away some of these if you really, really, really can't afford them. So save up those partoofs for raffle tickets. Depending on how today goes, we may give away another one of these as well. But we gave away one last stream. It was !rigged because one of our admins won it. But yeah, the shirt design's pretty awesome. I'm pretty stoked about it and hope you guys like it too. We've sold a grand total. I know it doesn't show on the counter. 14 from North America and 15 from Europe. So about 30. We're over halfway, which is awesome. Goal of 50 in total if we can pull it off.
I gotta get my mom one.
Will she understand? I actually don't know, because your mom does follow the stream, and would she get any
Oh, she doesn't understand any of the memes, like
okay.
the inside jokes, but she'll still want one to support it.
My daughter's face is in the bottom, and I see a cat that looks vaguely like one of ours.
That's why she liked the poster.
I must have this shirt.
Yeah.
Hello?
Oh, that actually smells really bad. I'm gonna turn the lights off.
Oh, I thought she was making a joke. Well, Ilta77, thank you for the 28-month resub. Welcome back one more time, you crazy son of a gun.
Oh, it smells.
We're in game number 2, and in the bottom right, his playstyle didn't smell. Well, maybe it smelled like burnt carcasses, because he won that game pretty badly. It's jjakji.
This is gonna kill me, is it? In the bottom, or in the top left, as the blue Zerg, it is NoRegreT.
I mean, have you never had like a fuse blow before or anything? Like it's gonna stay. You just unscrew the light bulb, throw it out.
No. If the light went out, it didn't blow. So. No, I've had a fuse blown. No, actually, I have.
It shouldn't smell if the light just burnt out. Is all it did.
No, it didn't. That's the point, though. Like, whenever my light would go out, it would always just like, you know, burn out and not explode. But this one actually cracked, so that's why it smells. But yeah, I've had it before. I accidentally blew the circuit in the Korean hostel we stayed at in Busan.
Oh.
Yeah. But
how?
What
did you?
Plugging in a thing into the. I mean, I don't know if it was my fault or that they had faulty like wiring. I just plugged in the thing with the converter.
Well, that's what I find interesting, because if you're in like a regular hotel here stateside, you've actually got sockets to plug into like 50 different sockets. But in Korea, you're limited because you need the converter, so you're like got two.
Yeah, it's not like I was plugging in like 60 things. Nah, just very nice about it. It took like a second to fix. Anyway.
Oh no, he didn't see that with the SCV.
No, but he'll see the late hatchery, so it sucks because you won't be able to save his command center even still, but it's okay.
He's gonna micro back the low links. He's trying not to take too much from it, but the Reaper can protect it. 3 links segment off to go kill the SCV. They'll sell at the command center, so it kind of works out a bit for NoRegreT, all things considered.
Should just cancel it.
But you know what? If you keep these things alive a little bit longer, that speed's about to kick in, and the Reaper's already really low. Good cancel out of jjakji too, not wasting time with this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can't really tell for sure if it's the 6 followed by speedlings or just the 6. If it's just the 6, then you need to like run around and kill him. But the speed follow-up, you gotta cancel the command center. And that was so dangerous.
Okay, so if, like, for those who really, you don't watch StarCraft often, you don't know what we're talking about here, 1 second of difference, NoRegreT could have won this game. If that factory did not land, this would have already been over.
Don't you need more than 2 SCV? Yeah, you do. Okay, well, that's...
It's a little bit rough. He's got all the other ones for the reactor and that depot too. But the Hellion's about to spawn. He should be able to shut this down. Now, NoRegreT didn't commit as heavily this game. His worker count's actually not looking so bad, and the fact that he was able to keep Alive's command center off puts him in a not bad overall spot. But this is still like a lot of links he just can't do anything with for quite some time even.
It's the problem is that he's droning behind this and he's just kind of containing, and getting the cancel command center is okay, but the Hellion, especially the Hellion opener, he's gonna eventually bust out of this, take care of the lings, then NoRegreT will have to make a couple of lings at least to help defend, so again, not droning. And with the Banshee on the way out too, NoRegret's the one that's going to be contained a little bit on 2 bases. And then if he does get up to a Spire, which I think it was his plan last game, looks to be his plan this game, he might take control back. But I think there's a lot of opportunity for jjakji to do damage.
Yeah. Also, Jono1232 was a 16-month resub, says 1 like equals 1 light bulb. And if you guys can't like, then just pray. 1 prayer equals 1 light bulb, too. Zombie Grub's house needs to be lit the fuck up, so pray for Zombie Grub, guys. We actually have an emote for that, that's why. Transition that over that way. Also, Flotch was asking about the tier 2 sub emote. Please be aware, guys, that that is totally a placeholder and for funsies until we think of something better. I feel like I really want something cool for it, but I can't think of anything truly, truly amazing. Every other streamer out there has just done some joke about money, and I don't want to fall into that same trap. Like, Nate's is literally just like money burning. I've seen people with us like dollar signs. Like, I want to be a little bit more original than that. So right now it's Villo, so you can get around the chat filter. But that's it for it's a placeholder. Now a lot of Hellions coming to the natural base. 3 queens. Not quite a spine crawler yet. And that Banshee needs to be shut down before the queens die. The Overseer out. This shouldn't be too bad of an issue.
Yeah. Of course, the other great side effect of having a lair this early is that Overseer. So no chance for the Banshee to like dodge around and catch a queen that's off guard. She should be protected.
No creep spread between the main and the natural, which could have been gapped by Overlords. Just dropping it out. That makes it a little bit hard to maneuver back with the Banshee. So she gets here and gets about 3 drone kills. Hellbat's transforming on the front line. I don't know if NoRegreT's paying attention because he's fighting away from the spine crawler.
This is a lot of Hellbats, but with the queen's able to micro back, transfuse, concave, I think he'll be okay. Obviously, yes, there's been a lot of larva on lings instead of drones, though.
As long as
looks like Joshi's okay with that.
As long as his links are coming in segmented and not all going in at once, I think it's fine too. Spire starts up behind this, and we've, regardless of NoRegreT remote, we've actually seen 2-base Spire. It's been tried out by a lot more Korean Zerg players recently. I'm still not sold on it though.
I think it has its place, and I don't mind it as a response to, well, it's both a follow-up and response to someone who goes Hellion Banshee, because that, even though the transition's a little bit faster, I think in Legacy of the Void, 2 extra barracks, I still think there's that time where they really are dependent on you not having, you know, free-flying anti-air.
Does jjakji realize NoRegreT pulled all the lings? Well, he scans the main, gonna realize it a little bit late. Lings now flooding into the natural, and there's no wall off.
Not in the natural. It's going to be a lot of lings potentially dead here. A Banshee can help a little bit, but not fast enough.
A lot of SCVs that should go down here.
Yeah. He pulls them away pretty quickly, but unfortunately not quite to the Hellions. So, as I said...
Oh, no. A lot of these Hellions are really low from the
down.
Queen damage earlier, but the Lings aren't going to be able to capitalize on that.
Yeah. 7 SVs isn't bad, but now he's just going to lose all of his Lings and attempt to get some of the Hellions here.
It did bring jjakji home, though, which I think is worth something. Because right now, NoRegreT had trouble even moving out to take a third. He had trouble getting new tumors down. So, okay, some SCV kills are nice. Losing a lot of Lings, not so much. But I think it's made up by the fact that jjakji going home gave NoRegreT some map control on his side of the field.
Yeah, well, the mutas also pop out, and while he did spend a lot of Lings, a lot of money on Lings, and they mostly died, only like a handful of them left over, the amount of money he was able to put in the mutas is actually kind of impressive. Start off with 6, and that's not too great, but starting off with 10, now up to 13, as these Blast 3 come out, that isn't so bad. And jjakji only just recently, upped his Marine production, so he really doesn't have a lot of mobile anti-air, just the Widow Mines and the missile turrets.
Vikings are a little bit funny to see. I guess they do work. I'm trying to think back. Forte, Salvation. He used to do this back in HOTS against 2 base mutas.
Yeah, the Vikings could be that emergency defense, and since 2 base muta was popular in HOTS, it made a lot of sense. Liberators aren't necessarily bad, but you have to get like 4 of them, and even then they can try and micro against it. So the Vikings, they got range, they got health, and apparently this is enough of them to feel comfortable being an escort squad. I haven't seen this ever. This is really weird looking.
Well, if it works, right?
Yeah. It's just like actually one of the big things is that if they try and disengage from the Vikings, much as engage into them, but disengaging also loses you maybe a muta or 2 with this many Vikings. Tim is almost done, so while there aren't many Marines with this, they will at least be able to help tear down those mutas. NoRegreT did get a Baneling nest, however, so he's not catching them too off guard, and already a lot of Banelings made means that I don't think it's gonna work. The Vikings can leave maybe.
The Hellbats the Banelings are most important for the Hellbats because we saw him struggling against those earlier. It would still be a problem even now if it was just Lings, but picking off these Widow Mines has been great. He's getting a little bit off a creep, gonna cost him a transfuse. A couple of these mutas get low too.
Marines. He brought in the reinforcements. That's a little scary if the Banelings are all using the Hellbats, but they're not really. They are targeting towards our Marines.
He's really reaching off a creep for this, but the mutas, a lot of them already dead. This is a lot of damage done to NoRegreT, even if he holds on.
Yeah. Oh, the Vikings just absolutely slaughtered the mutas too, and the Banelings ended up rolling into 1 or 2 Hellbats while they tried to retreat. So, not too common to see landed Vikings against Zerg.
Or much less picked up in a medevac. Fun fact: this falls under the category of like Fear Dragon useless facts. In fact, he may have done one on it. I don't know. But Vikings have no drop animation for those who don't know. Blizzard, I don't think really 5 years into this ever anticipated someone dropping a landed Viking. So there's actually no animation for them coming out of the medevac. They just appear like that.
Yeah. They're special.
Also, thank you to the Roddy Fanboy 15 in chat. Roddy Fanboy, did you see Roddy's picture on Twitter with a big thumb on it? It was hilarious. We're talking about during the break. Thank you for the new sub. It says great casters! !
Well, one of mine helps a little bit. This is just Lings, and even if it was the Baneling attack too, I think jjakji would have enough to defend.
It's a little unfortunate. NoRegreT's just going to barely miss the timing on this. He scouts no third and might think, oh, jjakji's just going to keep going army, more army. But really, he is floating an actual third over right now. NoRegreT's taking a 4th. He's got a lot of drones, and this gold base is going to benefit him greatly. I don't actually mind NoRegreT's position right now. Speed's going to be finishing up shortly, too. There's no upgrades for him, which totally sucks. But his economy is going to be looking great compared to jjakji. In fact, it already does look great compared to jjakji. Look at that blue on the income graph.
They started to spike as he got that third base saturated. jjakji will start evening out as he transfers his SCVs, and both of their mains start mining out. jjakji also has a superior army, and since he took out all the mutas in that trade, he didn't have to deal with any harassments or keeping them pinned back. And he also can go for a couple of drops, which he does with Widow Mines. Not too good. Yeah, 3 drones go down, and the medevac, unfortunately. So not really worth the Widow Mine drop.
But it did distract NoRegreT, and that gold base might be forfeit for it. There's not enough creep spread over here to fight either, and there's... Oh, Widow Mine's already set up. No Overseer? I think the one that from earlier died. So he's going to engage with nothing for this, and... Oh, the Widow Mines take out most of the Banelings. Still, NoRegreT runs over this.
Yeah, he had a lot of banelings. He had an appropriate amount of defense there, and Jjakji
Oh,
was
so he kept
on
the
creep.
Metamax.
Yeah, that's a lot of Metamax going down. Jjakji maybe being a little too overconfident with that push.
I'm still really worried, though, because NoRegreT has no signs of upgrades on the way. And while some of these fights are going well now, eventually these upgradeless Lings are going to tickle Marines with armor upgrades, right? And these Marines with +2 are going to shred through mutas.
Yeah. I mean, Jjakji still has a lot of potential here, but losing those Metavacs, got to restart from scratch, is hurtful. And having, not really cleaned up a lot of queens, the creep strate's already back on its way. It's still not great. Like, that 4th base still should be under a lot of pressure, but it's at least there. And, okay, yeah, the Wood of Mine's finally being cleaned up, too.
I was a little scared with those Lings going in. Gold base is going to provide a nice amount of income because you don't need that many drones for it. NoRegreT, he's got a pretty nice drone count already, so it just makes that dispersion of them even better. Muta Harass picks up on the side. I mean, he lost 14 through the course of the game, but he's already back up to 19, plus a few more hatching as we speak.
Yep.
I'm most impressed that he did get creep spread going. I mean, you got to consider, like, rewinding back to the start of the game. Jjakji had, like, 8+ Hellions, right? The Banshee outside of NoRegreT's natural. There was no creep spread for a very long time. I didn't think, oh, this is going to suck. Oh, it's not going to suck. Oh, it's going to suck. There you go. I didn't think NoRegreT would get the map control that he has now is what it comes down to. So, really cool to see that out of him.
Yeah. And while the creep spread isn't really protecting the 4th base, it is a lot to the main. So, I mean, Jjakji is forced to go from, well, his natural all the way over to the left side of the map, and that's a pretty fair distance. A lot of time for NoRegreT to get the mutas in, look around the map, maybe counterattack, and then even come back in time to defend. So Jjakji, realizing, I think, that he's being overwhelmed, is just going to retreat, play it smart, play it safe, go to a 4th base. He is still going to win out on the upgrades. And since he's winning on the upgrades so hard, he knows that even if NoRegreT tried to get to Ultras, they wouldn't be well upgraded.
No, they'd be
He'd
soft.
still probably going to win if he was patient about it.
But NoRegreT playing this a little bit more like Rogue at this point, right? Like, so much emphasis on the mutas. These are really the powerhouse of his army. If he loses these, then I don't think there's going to be that second chance like he's already been granted. Baits out a Widow Mine hit pretty successfully, but then has to pull back. Folks making jokes in chat too, like, are we sure it's NoRegreT playing? Like, what about Scarlet? Sort of has gone home from Korea. Scarlet's in Japan. There's no other Zerg players in the house that could be playing for him. Because, yeah, me as well said, wow, 4 bases? Over 60 drones? Like,
yeah. Defensively off of creep, maybe this goes well for Jjakji going back into his Widow Mines. And there was quite the minefield.
Oh, God. But the Bailey still managed to squeeze through and get a lot of the Marines. Might just be enough for the mutas to run rampant over this, because once he shuts down the mining on this base, production's going to cease.
Nah, there's enough reinforcements. I was going to say, Jjakji's army supply didn't dip that heavily. There's even a drop at that 4th base, finally doing some damage. Doesn't really get a lot of SCVs here. He's going to see an infestation pit, so know the transition to Hive is on the way, and that he's, I think, safe getting to that 4th base as soon as he puts a... well, I guess it's a 5th now. He already transferred his main. And that's something that, oh man, if NoRegreT had gone to the raised main base, that's a lot of SCV kills. The other one had a bunker, and the other one was close by the reinforcements.
This is such a weird game. I can't recall the last time we saw a ZvT go this deep, somehow be this quote-unquote balanced with such a big upgrade discrepancy.
Probably like Pig 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, and he didn't have any upgrades. But the thing is that if you do... I mean, yeah, if you get the Baneling shot, like the Baneling connections, they're still Baneling connections. It's really when you are trying to flood Lings that it just looks absolutely crappy. And so far, NoRegreT, until he went off of creep and then went through an entire minefield, because he saw an opportunity, unfortunately just didn't see 20 more army supply in the natural. That's when things really started to go south for his army. And once again, being maybe a little bit over-aggressive, grabs 9 SCVs. But Jjakji is now on, well, 4 bases, but, his main is already lifted, so it's a pretty healthy 4 bases.
Gold being taken 2 means all these less workers still work better. Not to mention mules. 31 mutas have died this game. That's a lot of resources right there, but there's still 24 in play. So NoRegreT still got I'd say a very sizable amount. Like, when we see players on like 10 to 15 mutas, really, it's not a threat. It's annoying, but it's not a threat. 20 plus mutas can certainly be dangerous. They can even take on Marines in smaller amounts.
Oh, yeah. NoRegreT did get to a Hive, but he hasn't gone for an Ultraless Cavern yet. And even if he did, they'd still only be, 1 upgrade, plus, of course, chitinous plating.
Yeah, part of me thinks that Hive's just for like adrenal glands or something, right?
Yeah.
A little bit awkward. He does get on top of production in the main, but it's not going to matter if he can't stop
upgrades.
the attack on the other side of the field. And this is already knocked down a base. It's about to knock down another. Infestation pit's here? Why? Why?
Just because.
Just
He doesn't really need the infestation pit. He just needs the hive.
Turret still would have gone down if he had focused it. I'm not sure what pulled his attention away, so a little bit awkward there.
A couple mutas went down on the backside too. I mean, that can be a very difficult time for Terran when they're dealing with the muta harass and trying to push, because if they push on a creep and there are banelings waiting, they're not paying attention, they're not splitting, and that actually goes south for the Terran. But because jjakji was going along this line that had no creep spread, absolutely none until you got onto the actual base, that's something that NoRegreT was, I think, smarter in not trying to hold, but unfortunately means he loses 2 bases, and trying to retake one that's already kind of mined out means that his 4 bases is really 1.5.
Your mic needs to be plugged and unplugged. While she does that too, it's worth noting on the income graph, like NoRegreT has enjoyed being able to afford losing so much, like 31 mutas, for example, over the course of the game, because he had income on his side, which he doesn't anymore. And that's what's really scary about this. 43 drones and less bases is not a good sign for him. Not at the current rate he's been playing. It's like a guy who can't afford his rent.
Okay, now.
No, it's using the wrong microphone now. I think when you unplugged it, defaulted to your webcam or something. But continue to push on the creep. It's about to be 3-3, and those armor upgrades make all the difference. Banelings will be the only thing that can possibly scratch this army. The Zerglings, they're going to be hitting for Jack's squat, even with +1 on their side. No adrenaline glands to speak of. And these Widow Mines aren't quite set up, so the mutas come in, but oh, they're flying right over, right past. The Widow Mines reach. They get the Overseers, but not the mutas. Baneling's looking to crash into the Marines, but I think there's still just a little too much out of jjakji. GG.
It's using the right mic.
Now you sound great.
Oh. I was gonna say, I was using the right mic last time, too.
I don't know, but it didn't sound good.
Oh.
At any rate, NoRegreT will not be out of the tournament yet. He'll actually fall to the losers bracket, where he'll wait to fight the winner of either Stylish, Tails, or Billowy. Stylish, of course, is alive, for those who don't know in the brackets. jjakji, despite winning the winners bracket, doesn't actually win the tournament yet. That's the equivalent of winning the semifinals. Oh, your camera's disappeared now.
Well, that's intentional.
Oh,
I'm trying to fix my lamp.
We're going to go to commercial break while Zombie sorts that anyways, because we got to wait for the next game. So thank you guys for watching. Sit tight. When we get back, it should be a live versus either Tails or Billowy, one of the 2 Protoss. Also, one more nagging reminder, guys. I know we've got at least 10-ish codes remaining, so please, 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 !Matcherino in chat. If you haven't done it yet, go down there, contribute to the prize pool, guys. We can get this up to $220 some odd.